Not everyone understands what lies behind the calm of a chosen one. From the outside, it seems like they accept everything with patience, that they do not get angry, do not react, do not get shaken. But the truth is different. The chosen one sees everything, feels everything, perceives everything. They just choose silence, until the moment comes when they can no longer stay quiet. Those who are chosen carry a sensitive soul and a very firm spiritual justice. They tolerate a lot, but not everything. There is an invisible limit that, when crossed, activates something inside them that is not always light. And it is not vengeance or common anger. It is a force that comes from within, as if the spirit itself says, "Enough is enough." And when that happens, those who provoked it are usually startled, because no one expects someone so calm, so understanding, so generous, to also have a sharp firmness, a truth that hurts, a gaze that confronts. But the chosen did not come to pretend they do not see. They came to transform. And sometimes, transformation requires standing firm. The chosen one is like the sea. It seems tranquil, but holds a depth that few know. They forgive easily, but do not forget. They understand, but do not submit. They are kind, but never foolish. And when something deeply wounds them, that pain does not turn into revenge. It becomes a cut. It becomes distance. It becomes a silence full of wisdom. In this video, you will understand 9 situations that genuinely irritate a chosen one. And I am not talking about simple things. I am talking about behaviors that trigger wounds, that disrespect their essence, that try to extinguish their light. When this happens, the soul of the chosen one reacts, and you will understand why. If you live with someone like this, pay attention. And if you are that someone, you will recognize yourself in each point, and perhaps even feel relieved to know that you are not alone in this profound way of feeling. If you are not yet a part of our channel, take the opportunity to subscribe now. Here we talk to those who feel differently and understand what many people do not see: disrespect towards vulnerable people. This is the first reason that disturbs the calm of a chosen one: seeing someone being cruel to those who cannot defend themselves. It is one of the few situations that immediately awaken the profound indignation that lives within them. It does not matter if it is a child, an elderly person, an animal, or someone emotionally fragile. When there is abuse, humiliation, or contempt, the chosen one feels it as if it were happening to them. The sensitivity that pulses within the chosen one does not need context. They perceive injustice even before it is explained. It is as if the pain of another crosses their skin and strikes directly at their soul. The gaze changes, the body reacts, the energy becomes agitated, and deep down, something firmly says, "This cannot continue." The chosen one does not have this reaction out of impulse. They feel on a spiritual level that their mission is being challenged. They came to the world with a greater purpose: to protect, to heal, to balance. When they witness someone using their own strength to harm a vulnerable being, their soul revolts. Not out of vanity or pride, but because they carry within themselves the awareness that they have been called to be a bridge, not a stone. Sometimes they do not react immediately. They remain silent, observe, and hold back. But inside, something has already been broken. They may even continue to coexist, but the energy will never be the same. The heart of the chosen one registers everything: the gesture of contempt, the expression of pain from the one who suffered, and even the tone of voice of the one who perpetrated the cruelty. Nothing goes unnoticed. When they withdraw, it is almost always discreetly. There is no confusion or harsh words, just absence. But for the chosen, the bond no longer exists. Because where there is injustice towards the fragile, there is no longer space for their light. The withdrawal is their way of protecting what they carry inside. If you are a chosen one, you have felt this pain in your chest. And if you live with one, know this: never test the spirit of justice of those who were sent to protect those who cannot defend themselves. Lies and open deceit. The second reason that deeply irritates a chosen one is lies. But not just any lie. It is that blatant deceit, the manipulation done coldly, the games that try to distort the truth as if they were harmless. The chosen one may not have proof at the moment, but they feel it. The body warns, the soul senses. And this discomfort does not go unnoticed. They do not need to hear the whole story. Just a few words, an avoided gaze, a half-hearted response. The sensitivity of the chosen one is like an antenna. It picks up what lies behind what is said. Even if on the outside they seem calm, on the inside they have already read the scene. They already know that something is wrong. And it is not an exaggeration. It is instinct, and it rarely fails. When they realize that someone is trying to deceive them, the chosen one's first reaction is not anger. It is disappointment, because they always expect the best from those who approach them. They give themselves sincerely, show themselves without filters, and offer trust as a foundation. To see this trust used as a ground for lies deeply hurts them. The chosen one does not expose it right away. They observe, test, give space for the truth to present itself. But when the deceit is confirmed, everything changes. They do not like unnecessary confrontation, but when they decide to speak, they speak firmly. They do not yell or accuse without basis. They simply release the truth they already knew. And when they speak, the mask falls. For those who live on the surface, it may seem exaggerated to pull away for a little lie. But for those who are chosen, the truth is a foundation. Without it, there is no real connection. Lies break the invisible bond that holds the spiritual connection. And when that bond breaks, they do not try to mend it. They simply leave in silence because they have already understood that there is no space for their light there. Those who try to deceive a chosen one deceive themselves, because sooner or later the truth comes to light. It may come through intuition, a dream, or a stray phrase. The universe always delivers the signs, always. And when this happens, the chosen one only confirms what their heart has already said. If you are one, you know how this affects your spirit. And if you live with someone like this, know this: messing with the truth can cost the most precious thing: trust. The chosen one does not fight out of pride, but distances themselves out of wisdom. Being underrated. One of the most common mistakes people make with a chosen one is underestimating them, ignoring their intuition, doubting their vision, treating their wisdom as exaggeration or even madness. This affects them in a way that many do not imagine, because the chosen one does not live for recognition, but knows exactly the value of what they carry. They do not ask for validation. They do not need the spotlight, but they also do not accept being treated as if their perception is irrelevant. Their silence is wisdom, not submission. When they are quiet, they are just observing. When they seem distracted, they are absorbing every detail. The chosen one sees what many ignore, and for this reason, when they are underestimated, something within them awakens. The chosen one can be discreet, calm, reserved, but they are not weak, and underestimating that silence is a mistake. When someone insists on trampling over their sensitivity, ignoring their warnings, limits, or intuition, they change, not out of revenge, but out of self-respect. The limit has been crossed, and they feel it in their soul. This type of disrespect does not awaken common anger. It activates an instinct to protect their own purpose. The chosen one feels that by being diminished, the mission they carry is also being devalued. And this they will not accept, because more than for themselves, they care for what they represent. And what they represent is light, truth, clarity. When they decide to take a stand, the chosen one does not need to shout. They do not need to confront. Their firm presence, direct gaze, and decision to not remain where there is no respect. All of this is enough. The energy shifts. The environment feels it. The masks fall. And those who underestimated them realize, too late, that they were dealing with someone who carries purpose. Some say they are too sensitive, but this sensitivity is what makes them who they are. It is what connects them to the invisible, to the sacred, to the answers that do not come from logic, but from the soul. To disregard this is like denying the most precious part of them. And when this happens, they do not fight. They simply leave. The withdrawal of a chosen one is not vanity, it is protection. When they realize they are not being heard, that they are being treated as someone without value, they withdraw. Because they understand that where there is no space for respect, there is also no space for the mission. And the chosen one does not waste time where their light is extinguished. If you have ever been underestimated, you know how deeply it hurts inside. Not out of pride, but from seeing your heart being ignored. And if you live with a chosen one, remember this. They may be calm, but they are profound. They may seem tranquil, but they carry battles and truths that not everyone would understand. Never treat as foolish someone who has been shaped in pain and guided by the soul. Interruption of inner peace. If there is something that the chosen one values deeply, it is peace. And we are not just talking about silence or rest, but about that peace that comes from within, built with effort, self-knowledge, and a lot of internal struggle. They know how much it costs to reach this state of balance, so any attempt to disturb it awakens their sincerest irritation. The chosen one is not the type who enjoys drama. They do not seek discussions, provocations, or unnecessary situations. They prefer tranquil environments, with light energy and authentic people. It is in this type of environment that they can breathe, think clearly, and connect with their mission. Everything that deviates from this is a noise they feel in their body. When someone enters their space bringing gossip, fights, disorganization, or dense energy, the impact is immediate. Even if they say nothing, they notice. They feel it in the air. They feel it in their heart. The presence of disorder vibrates like a warning in their field. And this vibration, for a chosen one, is very hard to ignore. Many do not understand this discomfort. They think it is too much sensitivity. But it is not. It is protection. The chosen one needs peace, because it is through it that they listen to their intuition. It is there that they recharge, cleanse themselves, and strengthen. Taking away this peace is like disconnecting someone from their own source of spiritual energy. And that never comes without consequences. Therefore, when someone insists on invading this space with disrespectful or provocative actions, they do not react with shouting. They go silent, withdraw, and distance themselves. But this withdrawal carries weight. It is a silent decision to no longer allow that to continue. Because the chosen one knows that if they give up their own peace, they give up their mission. They do not feel guilty for cutting ties, nor do they try to justify it too much. They understand that maintaining their energy clean is more important than maintaining any forced coexistence. Peace has become a priority, and everything that does not contribute to this automatically loses meaning in their life. It is a spiritual choice, not a social one. Perhaps you have felt this already. That moment when something took you out of your peace and everything inside seemed out of place. Or maybe you know someone who distances themselves when the environment becomes too heavy. This person may be a chosen one, trying to keep their energy alive in a world that constantly tries to extinguish it. If you are a chosen one, trust this instinct. The peace you protect is the soil where your mission flourishes. If you live with one, respect this space. Their silence is not arrogance. It is a boundary. And when a chosen one sets a boundary, it is because they have fought hard to maintain what you may not even see, their inner light. Repeated injustice. The chosen one has a heart that forgives easily. They understand that everyone makes mistakes, that life is a process, that there are unspoken pains behind difficult behaviors. They know that often the reaction of others is a reflection of an unresolved story. And because of this, they tend to embrace even when they are hurt. But there is a limit. And this limit appears when injustice becomes a pattern, when the mistake is repeated consciously, when the same attitude of disrespect, manipulation, or abuse returns, as if nothing had happened. At that moment, something inside the chosen one stirs. It is not pride. It is the soul saying, enough. In the beginning, they observe. They try to understand. Many times they remain silent to avoid hurting, to avoid conflict, to give one more chance. They believe that people can change and wait for this change with true hope. But when they realize they are in a cycle and not in a healing process, they close off, inside and out. This type of situation does not just tire them, it drains them. Because the chosen one feels the weight of the repeating energy. They recognize the pattern even before it is verbalized. They understand when the intention is unbalanced. And when this is confirmed more than once, they pull away. And this withdrawal is not coldness. It is spiritual survival. Even when the injustice is not against them, the impact is profound. Seeing someone being humiliated, excluded, or deceived repeatedly affects the spirit of the chosen one. They feel as if they are being hit as well, because their soul is sensitive to the suffering of others. Their compassion transforms into indignation. When they finally speak, they do not mince words, but not because they want to hurt. Rather, they speak with the weight of truth. A truth that comes from fatigue, disappointment, and the pain of having believed where there was no change. They do not cause a commotion, but their words, even calm, cut like a knife. If you are a chosen one, you know exactly what this repetition causes. And if you live with one, listen closely. Forcing a chosen one to witness an injustice for the second time is the same as pushing them away. And when they leave, it is because they have already tried everything before departing. Ingratitude from those he helped. Few things affect a chosen one as much as ingratitude. But not just any ingratitude. It is the one that comes precisely from those he helped with an open heart. From those he listened to in the early mornings, helped without asking for anything in return, defended even when everyone turned their backs. When that someone turns against him, the pain is more than emotional. It is spiritual. The chosen one does good, not expecting recognition. He helps because it is in his essence. Compassion is part of his calling. He feels when someone is falling and reaches out, even knowing that this will require a lot. But when the one who received everything forgets, betrays, or pretends that nothing was done, something inside the chosen one breaks. It is not wounded pride. It is disappointment with the other's soul, because he believed, gave himself, and connected truly. When there is ingratitude, what hurts is not the absence of thank you. It is the contempt. It is the erasure of what was lived. It is realizing that for the other, all the care has turned into nothing. And the chosen one feels this even before it is said. The change in the gaze, the cold withdrawal, the absence of consideration. He notices everything. However, unlike many, he does not demand. He simply withdraws, because he understands that where there is no gratitude, there is no more purpose. And where there is no purpose, his energy cannot remain. This type of ingratitude not only hurts, it transforms. The chosen one never returns to being the same after being hurt by someone he healed. He does not become bitter, but becomes more selective. He learns not to give too much to those who do not yet know how to value it. He learns to protect his gift, his time, his presence. And as much as this pain hurts him, it also shapes him, because it clearly shows who is ready to walk with him and who still lives in ego. The chosen one understands that not everyone deserves the light he carries, and he gradually learns to give without losing himself, to love without nullifying himself. If you are a chosen one, you have lived this, and if you live with one, value them, because when they leave, it is because their soul understood that there was no longer any truth there. 8. Lack of purpose in those who walk alongside. The chosen one cannot stand being close to those who live on autopilot, who do not care about anything, who merely consume life without transforming anything. This tires, annoys, and drains his energy. He feeds on purpose, and where there is no mission, he feels empty. The chosen one does not need to quote scriptures, wear specific clothes, or follow a closed doctrine. Their spirituality is free, yet intense. It is silent, but real. It is in their gestures, in their gaze, in the way they treat others. And when someone ridicules this type of connection, what they feel is an energetic rupture. They may not respond immediately. They may remain silent, but their heart aches, because for them, laughing at faith is not something light. It is a sign of spiritual ignorance. It is as if that person is denying everything the chosen one lives in a true way. This does not only cause irritation, it causes a pain that only those who have been through it understand. Disdain for spirituality also reveals something that the chosen one perceives easily. Those who are still sleeping, those who are trapped in the material, in the shallow, in control, those who cannot see beyond logic. And this pushes them away, not because they think they are better, but because they know that it is impossible to walk alongside those who disbelieve in their own light. When the chosen one meets someone who respects spirituality, even without agreeing with everything, they feel secure. But when they perceive disdain, sarcasm, or mockery, the connection breaks. Because for them, this shows a lack of sensitivity, consciousness, and soul maturity. If you are a chosen one, you have likely felt this discomfort. You may have remained silent in such situations. But know this: it is not an exaggeration. Your soul is merely protecting itself. It is saying, this does not nourish me, this does not represent me, and it is okay to distance yourself from those who do not respect what you carry inside. And if you live with a chosen one, respect them. Even if you do not understand everything, value what they live. Because many times it is this spirituality that keeps them strong, and it is this strength that makes them a light for so many people. The chosen are not perfect. They feel everything more deeply, and it is precisely this that makes them different. When something bothers them, it is not just an emotional reaction. It is as if the soul is signaling that something is out of alignment. The irritation of a chosen one does not arise from the ego. It arises from consciousness. They may appear calm on the outside, but inside them, there is a spiritual radar that is always active. Every unjust situation, every malicious word, every repeated disrespect, all of this affects them on a deeper level, because they came into the world with a mission, And part of that mission is to perceive what needs to be healed. When the chosen one revolts against evil, it is because they carry within them the desire for a better world. When they get irritated by falsehood, it is because they value truth. When they withdraw in silence, it is because they feel that the environment no longer nourishes them spiritually. And all of this makes sense. It is not about being intolerant. It is about being whole. The chosen one does not know how to pretend that everything is fine when it is not. They cannot smile just to please. They do not know how to remain where their soul cannot breathe. For this reason, they are often misinterpreted. They are called too sensitive, too intense, too closed off. But they know what they feel. And even when they cannot explain it, something inside them clearly says, "This no longer serves me." The irritation is not weakness. It is a compass. It is a way of showing what needs to be transformed, both in the world around them and within their own heart. If you live with a chosen one, pay attention to the signals they give. Sometimes, their silence is a request for respect. Sometimes their distance is a way to protect themselves. And if you are a chosen one, learn to respect your reactions. They are not wrong. They are the thermometer of your soul. Now tell me, which of these 9 reasons do you feel the most? Which one resonated with you? Write it in the comments. I will read each one. Because this space is also for you to be seen, and especially understood.